Hello, children. How are you all? Yes, I hope that everybody is fine and good. Yeah, so welcome to another lecture, a new lecture. So, today, the last class, we have had a short discussion on history chapter number 6. Okay, so I had already said, I hope that you understood it and you will be following that, whatever I'm saying. Okay, as I told in the last lecture that we will start today, or in the new next class we'll start a new lecture, as I have already said. Okay, so yeah, so this is a new lecture for starting a new chapter for civics. That is chapter number 4. We have completed chapter 3. Okay, and we have discussed about that. What are the things in the chapter it is about. We have studied about what is government, what are the laws of the government, okay, what are the levels of government, okay, what kind of activities government does for its people, what and people are only the power for the government, that it elects a person on their behalf, so that they could, so that he or she could act as a support being a government. Okay, so this is what these things we have seen in the last lecture, and we have also seen about what is a democratic government. Okay, and what we have seen, democratic government means the people elects a person on its behalf. It is what, and when that person, the elected person, does all the things for his people. Okay, then that is known as democratic government. So this thing we have learned in the last lecture. So connecting to this chapter, this new chapter is uh, actually linked with this previous chapter. Okay, so what is the name of the chapter? Key elements. So here we are going to learn about that democratic government. What are the key elements of that democratic government? What are the elements? So that thing we are going to learn in this new chapter. It is totally linked up with this. Okay, so guys, today's topic, what is today's topic for this chapter? So today's topic would be, yeah, first of all we'll be seeing what are the key elements. Okay, means the points of, or the point of elements of democratic government. Secondly, we're going to see the story of Hector Pearson. Okay, who was he, that will come to know, okay, when we'll be in the chapter. Okay, and what do you mean by apartheid, and what is Soweto, then Hector Pearson and the victory against the apartheid people. Okay, and what, how did the people participate in various camps in order to fight against this apartheid? So these things we are going to learn today. So these are the today's topics. So without wasting much time, let's get into the chapter. Uh, so yeah. So as I have told, first we are going to see about the key elements. So what are the key elements? There are, you can take your textbooks, okay, in your civics textbook, that is page number 35. Okay. So I'm before that, let's, in this chapter you will read about, or you will learn about some key elements that influence the working of democratic government. Means what are the key elements that influences? Influence means to, that will make to do some work. That is known as influencing. Okay, so these key elements influences the working of democratic government. So without that key elements, this democratic government cannot run. Okay, so that is what it is. So, which are those three elements that influence the working of democratic government? That is, first point is people's participation. Second point is the resolution of the conflict. Third is equality and justice. So, these 3 points we will learn one by one. So we will study these three, about these three elements in this chapter. Let's go one by one. So what is the first point? That is people's participation. So before that, let me tell you a story about South Africa. Okay. So in South Africa, what happened? South Africa is a country that has people of several races. What do you mean by races? Means, as you can see, 3 points have been given on the screen. You can see black people who belong to South Africa, whites who came there to settle, okay, in South Africa, and Indians who came as laborers and traders in South Africa. So these kind of three peoples, the black people, okay, and white people, they were been differentiated. This is what we call racism. Racism means when we keep discrimination, that he is a black, he or she, means when we discriminate some other people, that yeah, he is a black guy, so I will not talk with him, or he is a white person but his character is not good, so I will not talk with him. So these things are kind of discrimination, or that we face in the current situation. Means people do have these things. So this is what racism it is. It means racism means black people cannot do anything, they are not worth of anything, they cannot do, they don't have any talent, they don't have any uh, good, they are not good looking. Okay, means like these things are known as, this mentality is known as racism. Okay, so South Africa is a country that has people of several races. So which are those races? Means first point is black people who belong to South Africa, and second is white people who came there to settle. Third is Indians who came as laborers and traders. So the chapter has an important short story. That is, see, a girl, Maya Naidu, girl whose name was Maya Naidu, lives in Johannesburg. Okay, and her mother tells her the story of Hector Peterson. So this is how we are jumping into knowing about who was Hector Pearson. So here, girl Maya Naidu lives in Johannesburg, and her mother tells her the story of this person who is called, or whose name was Hector Peterson. Okay, so now let's see the story of Hector Peterson. What was this? What was his story? So before that, let's understand what is apartheid. As I already told, it's a new word for you. What do you mean by apartheid? Okay, South Africa was early governed by these apartheid laws. So it is a kind of a law. But let's understand the word. What do you mean by apartheid? See, as in the yellow font, you can see apartheid. It means that separation on the basis of race. Okay, as I have already said before starting of the lecture, in South Africa, due to the racism means showing that differentiality, means making others, uh, means seeing others as different, means black color, white people, black people. This is what known as racism, and it means this separation on the basis of this race is known as apartheid. Okay, so apartheid laws. So in South Africa had these apartheid laws. What are those apartheid laws? Means people were being divided into white, black, Indian, and colored races. Okay, as I already said. And according to the law, these races were not allowed to mingle with each other, or to live near each other, or even to use common facilities. Means apartheid laws means, what do this apartheid laws contain? Means what were the laws of apartheid laws? What laws included this apartheid? Means the law that black people may have different places to go, or places to live, or white people were having different places to live. So means they were being uh, differentiated. Means there were separate, there were separate hospitals. So what are those places? Let's see, there were separate hospitals for blacks and whites. Sorry, for means they were being differentiated as different hospitals, as different ambulances, different buses and trains. They had different bus stops, etc. Now for, as for black and white people, ambulances were meant for white people, were always well equipped. So the ambulances that white people had, it had many facilities. Okay, and while the one meant for black people was not that developed. So the ambulances that were provided to the black people were not that developed, or not that well equipped. Okay, now non-whites, that means black non-whites were not allowed to vote. The black people were not allowed to vote. The best land in the best land in the country was reserved for the whites. What was that? Whites had a different kind of land to live on, of to live in. Okay, now non-whites, that means black. Black had to live in the worst available land. Means this way they were just differentiated. White people had different their own land. Black people were given other another land. Means and black people were not allowed to vote. Okay, so thus black and colored people were not considered equal to the whites. Okay, so black his people were really been separated with the white people. So this is what apartheid means. Okay, now let's see about Soweto. There is a town called Southwestern Township. That is a short form known as Soweto. So one black township was there. There was a town in South Africa. Okay, that was means one black township was the Southwestern Township known as Soweto, and Hector Peterson lived there. So this Hector Peterson, that mother was telling his story to her daughter. So this Hector Peterson was living in that town. Which town? Southwestern Township, that is Soweto. And he and his classmates joined the protest against learning the Africans language in school. So he was a person who joined the protest means just if we can say strike. Okay, so he was a leader of the protest against learning what? Against learning the Africans language. Means not he was against learning this Africans language. Means he didn't want to learn the Africans language. This was the language that the whites spoke. Okay, means they believed that Hector Peterson believed that Afrikaans is a language of white people. So he was against learning that language. Okay, the schools students were being forced to learn this language, but still, the schools students of South Africa were forced to learn this language. Which language? Africans. But they wanted to learn which language? Their language known as Zulu. Okay, Zulu was the language, and they wanted to learn this language. Okay, now what happened? Next, that Hector Pearson, the South African police, then at that time, this policeman came into, as the strike was going on, this policeman came into action that South African people, police beat up the protesters mercilessly and shot at the crowd. So, as this protest or the strike was going on, what happened? These policemen came onto means they came over this crowd or they were against the strike, and they just started shooting all the people who were uh, running this strike or who were running this protest. Okay, so at that time, in this as we can say uh, that massacre, as you can see that Jallianwala Bagh massacre that took place. In the same way, here also there was a lathi charge or there was a strike. So in this strike, the policemen came and shot all the people, started shooting all the people, and this shoot, one of their bullets killed Hector. So in that shot, this one of the policeman shooted this Hector Peterson. So in this way, he left his life. So this happened on 16th June 1976. Okay, so every year this June 16 is celebrated as a festival in South Africa. Which was that festival? Okay, if you can, children, if you can find out the answer. Okay, if it is not mentioned in the NCRT in this textbook, but if you can find out the answer for that. So it will be really interesting for you. Okay, yeah. So, or in the next lecture, I will be telling what was that festival. It is celebrated at which festival, that I will tell you in the next lecture for this chapter. Okay. Now let's see, as the strike was going on, how they won against that. So this, let's see about the victory. Okay. So the National Congress was a group of people who led the struggle against apartheid. So as many people were being killed, then what happened? There was a National Congress in Africa. Means they were the group of people who led the struggle against the apartheid. So among them, there was a most prominent leader, or who was a very famous leader known as Nelson Mandela. You might have heard about him. Okay, he was a great leader in South Africa. So, okay, so he, along with him, these people fought against the apartheid system for several years. So, finally, what happened? In 1994, South Africa became a democratic country. So, with his leadership and with his leadership skill and courage and confidence, people fought against this apartheid system, and South Africa became a democratic country, so in which people of all the races were then being considered equal after the winning, or after the having victory in this fight against the apartheid system. Finally they attained this, or they won against this fight called apartheid system, and in which people of all then, from then, all the races, or all the people of all the races were considered equal. So this is how it happened. Everyone just gained victory against this apartheid system, and they were being considered all as one. Okay, now let's see about the first uh, key element of this democratic government, which is that is people's participation. The people's participation, which is that people's participation. Let's see. First of all, start with the regular. Let's start with the regular elections. We are seeing about the first key element, which is that people's participation. How the people participated in this elections. So in during the regular elections, see, people make decisions in a democracy. Okay, so in a democratic government, people make decisions in a democracy, and through voting in elections, people elect leaders to represent them. So as we already know that in a democratic government, people select or elect a person through voting, and people elect leaders to represent them, and these representatives take decision on behalf of the people. Okay, and it is assumed that the representatives will keep in mind the voices and interests of the people. So the people, okay, or the person who is elected in by the voting in the democratic government, so he should keep in mind, he should never forget that people who elected him. So what he should do, he should keep in mind the voices and interests of the people. So he should give his ear, he should listen to the people what they actually need. So in this way he should run the democratic government. Okay, and there was a fixed period for this all governments that are elected. So which are those fixed periods? So in India, this period is 5 years. So a government runs in India for 5 years. It is a term that is already fixed for a government. As now this BJP government is going on in India, so it will run the 5 years. Okay, then after, again after 5 years, again election comes. Then again, who wins, that party will again run the government. So in this way, this carries on. So right now in India, this period of this running the government is for 5 years. Okay. Now governments can stay in power only for that period. Only for how much period? Five years period. They can stay in power. Okay. And if they want to continue being in power, then they have to be re-elected by the people. As I already said, voting, through voting and election of the people decide that which government should run. He means, as a part that people will elect a person for that government, and then it decides that this person will run this government. Okay, so in this way the power of the government gets limited by regular elections. Okay, and people sense their power in a democracy. So in this way, it all depends on the hands of people, how or which person they elect, or which government they select. Okay, this is up to totally dependent on the people of country. If you take an example of India, so it is up to the people who elect who elect a person, as who elects a person as for their representative. So that person will be a representative of that government. Okay. Means on behalf of that people, this person will run a particular government. So right now, as BJP is going on, as we all know that Narendra Modi ji is a prime minister, so he is running this BJP government. So it only depends on the people of India that after this 5 years, whether Modi will or whether this BJP government will be run or not, that totally depends on the power of the people. So and people sense their power in a democracy. Okay, so now let's see how other there are some other ways of this participation. So besides voting, there are some other ways of participating in the process of government. Not only voting is there, government means just to vote and then they will elect a person and then government will be run. Not only that, there are some other ways of participation. Which are they? Okay, so let's see. Means first, by taking, you can see in the yellow font, by taking an interest in working of the government and expressing disapproval when required through rallies, signature campaigns, etc. Okay, so which are they? So by taking an interest in working of the government, is not only voting is not only meant for running a government, but there are some other ways of participating. How they can participate? By taking interest in working of the government, means by taking means whatever government decides to run, so he or she should have that interest in working that government and expressing the disapproval when required. Means some they should have that kind of attitude when to disapprove some rules or when to approve some rules. So it is completely dependent, and they should, and it is very required. Okay, through rallies, signature campaigns, etc. For example, if we say, okay, the government in 2005 increased the prices of electricity. Okay, then what happened? People expressed their disapproval sharply. What happened as they increased the prices of electricity? What happened? People expressed their disapproval. Means people were not ready to accept that increase of price in electricity. Then what happened? The government tried to explain and defend its decision. What happened? As people disapproved that, the government started or they tried to explain the people, to explain the nation and defend its decision. But finally, what happened? The government listened to the people and withdrew the increase. So, as because only in by these 4 points we will come to know that it is totally under the power of the people, not the government, because people are only concerned for the government, because without people's permission no government will be run. So it is very important to listen the power of the people. Okay, so and finally what happened? As the government increased the price of electricity, what happened? People disapproved them. Then what happened? Government tried to explain them why they had increased the electricity, but it was of no use. Finally, what happened? Government had to listen to the people, and and it withdrew the increase. So then what happened? There are still many other ways in which people express their views to convey their message to the government. So as they have increased the electricity price, so then what happened? Government had to listen to people. Okay, then again there are still other ways so that people can express their opinions, what they want from their government. What is that? Means dharnas, rallies. By dharnas, rallies, strikes, signature campaigns, etc. They can express by these things, by doing rallies, by doing strikes, as we can say, by doing protests or signature campaigns against the suppose as they had increased the price of electricity, they can stop that by making strikes. Okay, so this is a short example. Okay, so uh, newspapers, magazines, and TV also play an important role in discussing the government issues and responsibilities. So, newspapers, magazines, and TV also have an important role. Okay, so not all sections of society are able to participate equally. So another way for people to participate in this government activities is by organizing themselves into social movement. They will be a part of this social movement, and this is done by women, Adivasis, Dalits, etc. So these are the certain topics that we had discussed for today. Okay, so which were they? I hope that you understood. We have seen about the key elements of this democratic government, and in that we have explained the first key element, which is that people's participation, means how people participate in government activities. and how they can manage in government to run the entire nation. So this is what we have understood till today. Okay, so tomorrow lecture will be that for the second and the third key elements, as you can see in the screen. Today we have I have explained this first one, that how the people participate in certain campaigns, strikes, how they can be against if government doesn't take any proper decision or make any finalization in any of the act, then people can participate accordingly through many ways, through media, through making strike, to by conducting several campaigns. They can act against the government. Okay, if so, means it helps, because without people's permission, government cannot do anything. So this is what we have seen in today's lecture. I hope that you understood. Just read along the portion. So this up to here we have read from uh, page number 35, 36, then 37 other ways of participating. Okay, then we have seen yeah, we have seen up to page number 38, that the left side column it is given now. Okay, see, in that picture it is given that few ladies are means that doing the campaign. That picture is there in your textbook, SS textbook, civics textbook, page number 38. In there, one figure is given on the left. Okay, that some ladies are doing campaigns or strikes. See, in that picture, below that picture, a paragraph is given, while which starts from, while it is true that democracy allows people to participate, it is also true that not all sections of people uh, are actually able to do so. Another way for people to participate is by organizing themselves into social movements that seek to challenge the government and its functioning. Members of minority community, Dalits, Adivasis, women, and others are often able to participate in this manner. So up to here we have completed today's portion. Okay, so you have to read up to this. Okay, up to participate in this manner in page number 38. Okay, up to there you have to read the textbook properly and go along with this video also. So up till then, study well. Bye.